Science in sleeping. How far can humans travel in space today? Welcome back to Science in Sleeping, your quiet corner of the cosmos where curiosity meets calm. Tonight, we're drifting gently into one of the most fascinating questions of all time. How far can humans really travel in space today? As you settle beneath your blanket, the hum of the day slowly fading into silence, I invite you to loosen your thoughts. Let the tension slip away from your shoulders. Let your breathing soften, steady and slow, like the gentle rhythm of the ocean beneath a starlit sky. Here, in this moment, there's nothing you need to do, nowhere you need to be. You don't have to remember any of this, or even stay awake to the end. This story is yours to simply float through, as knowledge and rest blend together in the soft glow of imagination. I'd love to know where you're watching from tonight. Maybe you're somewhere in the northern hemisphere, where the air feels crisp and clear. Or perhaps you're listening from a warm, tropical night, miles away from city lights. Each of us, no matter where we lie, shares the same vast sky above the same stars that have guided every dreamer, every explorer, every human who's ever looked up and wondered what lies beyond. Tonight, we'll journey through that wonder together, tracing humanity's path from Earth's first tentative steps into the heavens, through the echoes of rocket launches, the stillness of the moon, and the silent distances where only machines have gone. So now, settle in, get comfortable, and let your thoughts drift. The stars are waiting, the universe is quiet, and our journey begins now. Have you ever wondered what it would feel like to stand at the very edge of everything we know? To look beyond the soft blue curve of Earth and see the infinite dark stretching out forever? Have you ever imagined what it might be like to leave this world behind, to float silently among the stars, knowing that every breath you take is a fragile thread connecting you to home? Picture yourself lying back beneath the open night sky. The air is still, cool against your skin. The Milky Way arches above like a river of light. You can almost feel the Earth's slow rotation beneath you, as if the planet itself is rocking you gently to sleep. In this quiet space, distance loses its meaning. The moon feels close enough to touch, Mars a faint red ember glowing at the edge of thought. The silence around you is not empty, but full of potential, of history, of every dream that ever wondered what lies beyond. To understand how far we can travel in space today, we first need to understand what far really means. For most of human history, far meant crossing oceans, climbing mountains, or wandering deserts. But in the scale of the cosmos, even the highest peak and deepest sea sit side by side, almost touching. Our journey into space begins humbly, just above the thin veil of atmosphere that clings to our planet. The first humans to breach that veil were like dreamers crossing into myth. In 1961, Yuri Gagarin orbited the Earth for 108 minutes. He traveled at 27,000 kilometers per hour, and yet he never truly left home, the International Space Station. The place where astronauts live and work today orbits just 400 kilometers above us, closer to you right now than Karachi is to Lahore. Beyond that, we've sent machines, metal messengers that carry our curiosity farther than our bodies can endure. Did you know that Voyager 1, launched in 1977, is now over 24 billion kilometers from Earth? It has traveled beyond the influence of our sun, drifting through interstellar space, yet it still whispers faintly back to us, a ghostly radio signal crossing the vast dark like a heartbeat in the night at its current speed. Voyager would take more than 70,000 years to reach the nearest star. That gives you a sense of the scale, how small we are, and yet how persistent our desire to go farther. Human space travel, in practical terms, remains confined to the Earth-Moon system. The farthest any human has ever traveled is about 400,000 kilometers. When Apollo 13 looped around the far side of the Moon, for comparison, if the distance to the Moon were the width of your bed, Mars would be 2 rooms away, and the nearest star system would be thousands of miles from your home. The physics of distance, the limits of propulsion, the frailty of the human body, they all conspire to hold us close to Earth. And yet, every rocket launch, every telescope, every dream pushes that boundary just a little bit farther. Space is not a place we merely visit. It's a condition we must learn to survive. Our ships must carry air, water, food, and protection from radiation. Our minds must endure isolation and silence. Astronauts aboard the ISS often describe seeing the thin blue line of Earth's atmosphere and feeling a sudden tenderness for it, the way you might look at the chest of a sleeping child, watching it rise and fall, knowing how fragile life truly is in the years to come. Humanity's reach will stretch farther. NASA's Artemis program will return us to the Moon, this time to stay. Beyond that, missions are being planned to Mars. The journey will take 6 to 9 months each way, a voyage through radiation, solitude, and silence deeper than any human has ever known. To make it possible, scientists study how to grow food in space, how to recycle every breath, how to sleep when the sun rises and sets 16 times a day. And yet, even Mars, that red jewel of wonder, is just a stepping stone. Beyond it lies the outer solar system, where the gas giants swirl like frozen storms. And beyond them, the Kuiper Belt, a kingdom of ice and dust. Beyond that, interstellar space, where light itself takes years to cross from one world to another. For now, we explore those realms with our robots, the Voyagers, the Pioneers, the New Horizons probe that once swept past Pluto. Each one carries a piece of us, a human hellocast, into eternity. It's strange to think that the farthest things we've ever sent are not alive, and yet they are profoundly human. They carry our art, our music, our hopes, golden records etched with greetings in many languages. They remind the cosmos and ourselves that we exist, that we once looked up and dared to ask how far we could go. Perhaps distance in space isn't measured in kilometers at all, but in courage, in wonder, in the soft whisper of dreams that rise like satellites into the night. We travel not because it's easy, but because something in us longs to touch the unknown. That longing connects us across generations, across oceans, across the dark between stars. As you breathe slowly now, imagine those distant travelers, tiny sparks drifting through the silent dark. Imagine that you too are one of them, carried gently forward by curiosity and calm. The night sky above you is the same one Voyager left behind, the same one Gagarin saw from orbit, the same one every dreamer has gazed upon before sleep. And now, as the stars shimmer softly through your thoughts, We'll let this story drift onward in the next part of our journey. We'll follow the path from the moon to Mars, exploring what it will take for humans to make that great leap across the void. But for now, let the universe hold you. The journey continues, and you are already among the stars. Have you ever wondered what it would be like to stand on the surface of Mars? Not through the lens of a camera or a robot's mechanical eye, but as a living, breathing human being, feeling the soft vibration of wind whispering across an alien world. Have you imagined the silence there? Not the quiet of night on Earth, but the absolute, infinite stillness of a place that has never known the sound of rain, laughter, or life. The thought itself feels both thrilling and lonely, doesn't it? Close your eyes for a moment and picture it. You are standing on a vast plain, the color of faded rust. Beneath your boots, the dust is fine, like powdered iron, stretching endlessly in every direction. The sky above is not black, but a muted apricot, washed with soft gold near the horizon. The sun looks smaller here, a distant pearl, barely warming your skin. In the far distance, jagged mountains rise, ancient volcanic scars from a time when Mars was alive with fire and water. Your breath is steady inside your suit, and in that rhythm, you can almost feel the heartbeat of another world. Reaching Mars has always been one of humanity's grandest dreams, and now, for the first time, it's not just a dream whispered in the dark. It's a plan written in equations, blueprints, and hope. The path to Mars begins with a challenge, almost poetic in its difficulty. Mars is close enough to touch our imagination, yet far enough to test everything we know about survival. At its closest approach, Mars is about 55 million kilometers away. At its farthest, more than 400 million, depending on where both planets are in their orbits. To understand just how monumental that distance is, imagine driving to Mars in your car at highway speed to 100 kilometers per hour. You would need more than 60 years of non-stop driving. Sleep, no food, no breaks, just endless road stretching into black. That's how far Mars is, not in kilometers, but in time, effort, and patience. The first step to Mars happens here on Earth, at launch sites where dreams are forged in fire. Rockets like NASA's Space Launch System and SpaceX's Starship stand tall against the dawn, each a mountain of precision and power. Each one is built to do the unthinkable, to carry human lives across the cold gulf of space. When these rockets ignite, the ground trembles. Clouds of flame and smoke bloom outward, and for a few breathtaking seconds, the sky seems to open. But even after breaking free of Earth's gravity, the journey to Mars is a slow dance between worlds. The spacecraft must follow a curved path, coasting through the gravity of the sun. Every course correction, every calculation must be perfect, because in space, there is no margin for error. For months, travelers would live inside a vessel no larger than a small apartment. Surrounded by the endless void, the silence of space can play strange tricks on the mind. Astronauts describe hearing their own heartbeats echoing in their helmet, a soft reminder of how alone they truly are. Radiation is another invisible enemy out there. Without Earth's protective magnetic field, cosmic rays rain constantly, passing through metal and flesh alike. To survive, Engineers are experimenting with water-shielded walls, magnetic deflectors, even spacecraft built partly underground on Mars itself. In this way, science becomes both armor and art, a delicate balance between logic and imagination. Did you know that Mars once had oceans, rivers, and rain? Scientists believe billions of years ago, its surface shimmered with water. The planet may have been blue, like Earth, wrapped in a thicker atmosphere. Then, slowly, its magnetic field faded, solar winds stripped away the air, and the oceans vanished into vapor and ice. What remains now is a frozen memory, canyons deeper than Earth's oceans, volcanoes taller than Everest, and plains so still they've slept untouched for eons. When we send humans there, we won't just be exploring space. We'll be confronting time itself, touching the ruins of a planet that might have once been alive. The rovers we've already sent, like Perseverance and Curiosity, are our scouts, our storytellers. They roll across Martian soil with delicate precision, analyzing rocks, drilling, sampling, listening for whispers of ancient life. Each discovery, a hint of carbon here, a strange mineral pattern there, is like a footstep on a bridge between worlds. Now imagine what it will feel like when a human voice first echoes across the Martian plain. We made it, they'll say, and the words will float through the thin air, dissipating into red dust. It will be the sound of a species becoming interplanetary. The first colony will be small, perhaps a handful of habitats connected by tunnels, powered by solar fields glittering under the pale sun. Inside, the air will hum softly, filtered and recycled. Plants will grow under artificial light, their green a comforting reminder of home. Every leaf, every drop of water will be precious at night. When the sun sets behind the jagged rim of a crater, the stars will come alive, thousands of them, sharp and cold, and among them, a faint blue dot will hang low in the sky. That will be Earth, shimmering softly like a dream. From there, our home will look no bigger than a memory, yet everything we are will be there, every song, every loved one, every story. Mars, in this way, is more than a destination, it's a mirror, reflecting back our own longing to endure, to connect, to reach beyond ourselves. It asks a question, not of technology, but of spirit. How far are we willing to go? Not just across space, but within ourselves. As you breathe slowly now, feel that quiet distance stretching out like a horizon inside your mind. The space between Earth and Mars is not empty. It's filled with possibility, the hum of engines, the pulse of courage, the whisper of a billion dreams. Each heartbeat brings humanity one step closer to that red horizon, one step closer to touching another world. Soon, we'll journey deeper still, beyond Mars, beyond the edge of sunlight, to places where no human eye has ever seen, there, in the dark between the planets. The story of exploration continues, vast, silent, and waiting. But for now, rest easy. Let your thoughts drift like a spacecraft coasting in the night. The next chapter of our voyage begins just beyond the crimson sky. Have you ever wondered what waits for us beyond Mars? Beyond the reach of human eyes and the hum of radio signals? Have you ever tried to imagine the sheer emptiness between planets? A silence so deep it feels alive. A darkness so absolute it swallows every sound. Every thought in that great black ocean. Time stretches like a slow breath, and distance becomes a kind of dream. Now, picture yourself aboard a silent ship, drifting through that endless sea. The sun is far behind you now, a brilliant coin shrinking into a pale star. Its warmth is weaker here, a fading memory that brushes your face like the last touch of summer. Ahead, the stars glow with impossible sharpness. Countless, cold, eternal, you float weightless. Your breath soft inside your helmet. Your heartbeat echoing gently in your ears outside the window. Space is not empty. It shimmers faintly with cosmic dust. The delicate remnants of creation. This is the frontier humanity has not yet touched. The space beyond Mars, the vast region of the outer solar system, where the giants wait, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, and Neptune, titans of gas and mystery, each one orbits in the deep cold. Wrapped in storms older than civilization, these worlds are far, unimaginably far. Yet we have already visited them, not in person, but through our tireless mechanical ambassadors. In 1977, two spacecraft, Voyager 1 and Voyager 2, were launched on twin paths. They were designed to study the outer planets, but their mission became something greater, a journey toward the edge of the sun's influence. The Voyagers revealed sights that no human imagination had fully captured. Jupiter's swirling storms, lightning flashing across its clouds, Saturn's rings like frozen whispers, Neptune's blue winds moving faster than sound. Each discovery rewrote what we thought we knew about the solar system. Did you know that Jupiter's gravity is so immense it protects Earth? It acts as a cosmic shield, pulling in asteroids and comets that might otherwise strike our planet. Without Jupiter, the history of life on Earth could have ended before it began, and yet, even Jupiter is just one step on the long staircase leading outward into the dark. If humans ever travel beyond Mars, Jupiter might be their first true stop. Its icy moons, Europa, Ganymede, and Callisto, are worlds unto themselves. Europa, in particular, hides a secret beneath its cracked, frozen surface, an ocean larger than all of Earth's seas combined. Scientists believe it might hold the ingredients for life: warmth, water, and chemistry. Imagine a human standing on Europa, looking up at Jupiter's immense form, filling half the sky, swirling with storms the size of continents. The light there would be dim, a perpetual twilight, the horizon glowing faintly from the reflection of Jupiter's clouds. But getting there would be the hardest journey ever undertaken. To reach Jupiter takes years, even for unmanned probes. The radiation belts around it are deadly, powerful enough to fry electronics and human cells alike. A ship traveling there would need to carry protection thicker than a fortress, a moving sanctuary adrift in the void inside. The travelers would live by rhythm and routine, measuring their days not by sunrise or sunset. As the craft glides deeper into the cold, the sun grows weaker still, a small white ember in an endless black sky. The temperature outside drops to nearly -200 degrees Celsius. The stars are so sharp they seem closer, but they are not. It is only the clarity of emptiness that makes them shine. The silence here is pure, the kind of silence that doesn't just surround you. It becomes you, and yet that silence is filled with wonder. Between Jupiter and Saturn lies a region of space where the gravitational pull of the two giants creates strange harmonies. Invisible corridors that spacecraft can use to glide with minimal energy. These are the cosmic highways of the solar system, delicate threads of gravity weaving a path through the dark. Engineers call them interplanetary superhighways, invisible but real, a network that might one day carry human explorers from world to world like ancient sailors following ocean currents. Saturn, with its rings of ice and shadow, would be the next stop from a distance. It looks serene, a perfect circle of beauty, but up close, those rings are storms of shattered moons. Billions of particles ranging from dust grains to mountains, colliding and spinning in a cosmic ballet. To stand on one of Saturn's moons, perhaps Titan, with its orange sky and methane lakes, would be to experience alien weather. Rain that is not water, rivers that are not wet. Titan's thick atmosphere could cradle the first colony beyond Mars, a place where the distant sun still shines faintly through golden haze. But beyond Saturn, the light fades to near nothing. Uranus and Neptune drift through twilight worlds. Cold and windswept, the winds there move faster than sound. The air, a whirlpool of methane and mystery. No human could survive there, but that does not stop us from imagining, from dreaming of what lies beneath their clouds. Beyond Neptune lies the Kuiper Belt, a vast ring of icy worlds, the remnants of the early solar system. It is here that Pluto circles in its lonely orbit, tiny but rich with secrets, new horizons. A spacecraft launched in 2006 visited it in 2015, revealing a heart-shaped plain of frozen nitrogen, mountains of water ice, and a surface more beautiful than anyone expected. It reminded us that even at the edge of sunlight, there is still wonder, and farther still, past the Kuiper Belt, lies the heliopause, the invisible boundary where the sun's influence ends. Beyond that, interstellar space begins. Voyager 1 has crossed it, drifting in the dark between stars. It carries with it a golden record, engraved with sounds of earth music, greetings, laughter, thunder, the cry of a baby, the sound of waves. It is a message in a bottle, cast into an infinite sea. Think about that for a moment. Somewhere, billions of kilometers away, a human-made object is moving silently through eternity. It has outlived its creators. It carries our voice, our memory, our hope. Perhaps one day, another civilization will find it, long after we are gone, and know that once, on a small blue world, a species looked up and dreamed. It's humbling, isn't it, to realize that everything we know, every book, every mountain, every heartbeat fits into a fraction of the cosmos, and yet, within that smallness lies something vast, our capacity to wonder, to imagine, to reach. So as you breathe, now, slow and steady, imagine yourself drifting with Voyager, weightless and calm, no longer bound by gravity or time. The stars ahead shimmer like candlelight across infinity. You are not lost, you are exploring. You are part of a journey that began the moment the first human looked at the night sky and whispered, "How far can we go?" The universe answers softly, not in words, but in silence, in beauty, in distance. It tells us that we are still at the beginning, still learning how to travel, not just across space, but across understanding itself. And now, As you float gently in that thought, the story continues. Beyond the edge of our solar system lies another mystery, the interstellar ocean, where stars are born, where gravity and light weave galaxies like dreams. In the next chapter, we'll drift there together, into the space between stars, where the true journey of humanity has only just begun. Have you ever wondered what lies beyond the warmth of our sun, beyond the faint pull of its gravity, beyond the reach of its golden light? Have you imagined drifting into the deep, silent dark between the stars, where even sunlight becomes a distant rumor? In that infinite sea, there are no directions, no up or down, only the endless stretch of forever. And yet, somewhere in that vastness, new worlds are being born. Picture yourself floating there now, weightless and calm. The last tendrils of sunlight fade behind you, until the star that once warmed Earth becomes no brighter than the others. Around you, space is not empty, it glows faintly with ancient light, the afterglow of creation itself. Each particle of dust you pass has traveled for billions of years, remnants of exploded stars, fragments of forgotten worlds. The silence is immense, but not lonely. It feels alive, filled with quiet energy. This is interstellar space, the realm between the stars. It is not a vacuum, not truly. It's a delicate web of gas, dust, and invisible magnetic fields. It's here that stars are born, live, and die, all within the slow rhythm of cosmic time. Humanity has never been here, not yet, but our machines, the voyagers, the pioneers, and new horizons have crossed its threshold. They drift now, small and fragile, carrying our story into eternity. To reach interstellar space is to step outside the influence of our own star. The sun's wind, that invisible current of charged particles, extends far beyond the planets, forming a protective bubble called the heliosphere. Inside it, we are bathed in solar energy, but eventually that wind fades, colliding with the cold pressure of the galaxy itself. The boundary where they meet is the heliopause, a vast frontier, the edge. Voyager 1 crossed that boundary in 2012. After traveling more than 18 billion kilometers, it now moves through a place where the solar wind no longer blows, where cosmic rays, high-energy particles from distant supernova stream freely. The data it sends back is faint, a whisper among static. But from that whisper, we've learned that interstellar space is not dead. It breathes, slow, vast, and eternal. Did you know that beyond the heliopause, the temperature is near absolute zero? Yet radiation and magnetic energy still flow. The space between stars is not lifeless emptiness. It's the nursery of creation. Clouds of hydrogen drift here, collapsing slowly under gravity, forming new stars, new systems, new beginnings. It's possible that somewhere, right now, a sun is being born in silence, its first light still thousands of years from reaching us. For humans to travel here would require a leap so great that it borders on myth. The nearest star system, Alpha Centauri, lies 4.37 light-years away, about 40 trillion kilometers. If Voyager 1 were heading in that direction, it would take more than 70,000 years to arrive. To reach it in a single lifetime, we would need to travel at 1/10 of the speed of light. An impossible feat with today's technology, yet the dream persists. Scientists are exploring the possibility of light sails, spacecraft powered not by fuel, but by the pressure of light itself. Imagine a sail thinner than paper, kilometers wide, catching the radiation of distant lasers, pushed forward across the void, accelerating endlessly. Such a craft could one day reach the nearest stars in decades instead of millennia. Projects like Breakthrough Starshot are turning that dream into engineering, testing how light itself could become our cosmic wind. And still, even as we imagine those future ships, the enormity of the distance remains. Between stars lies a darkness so profound that every beam of light becomes a treasure. Each glimmer you see in the night sky has traveled thousands, sometimes millions of years to reach your eyes. Every star is both ancient and immediate, its light touching you long after its story began. But what would it feel like to be out there, truly out there, between the stars? You'd see nothing familiar, only the glow of distant galaxies, swirling like luminous islands in an endless sea. Occasionally, you might pass through a nebula, a vast cloud of dust and gas, glowing softly with color. Blue and violet, red and gold. These are the birthplaces of stars. Each atom of your body was forged in such a place long before Earth existed. You are, in every sense, made of stardust. Think about that for a moment. The iron in your blood, the calcium in your bones, the carbon in your cells, all born in the heart of a dying star, exploded outward, scattered across space, gathered again into the body of a planet, and then into you. To travel into interstellar space is not to go somewhere new. It is to return to where we began. There's a strange comfort in that thought. In the stillness of interstellar space, you are closer to the truth of your own existence than ever before. Out here, the universe feels less like a thing outside of you and more like something you are part of, a great, breathing organism of time and light. Sometimes scientists talk about the Oort cloud, a vast, spherical shell of icy debris surrounding the solar system, extending nearly halfway to the nearest stars. It's a ghostly frontier, home to trillions of frozen bodies, the remnants of creation. Comets sleeping in the dark. Occasionally, one is disturbed, sent inward toward the sun, its icy body igniting in a brilliant tail. Each comet you see is a messenger from the edge of everything. Beyond the Oort cloud, beyond even the faintest trace of our sun's influence, lies true interstellar space, the great between. Here, the only light comes from stars that are suns to someone else. The distances are so immense that even light, moving at 300,000 kilometers per second, takes years to cross from one to another. It is the loneliest and most beautiful place imaginable. Yet, within that loneliness, there's peace. Because in interstellar space, nothing rushes, nothing breaks. Stars live and die slowly. Galaxies turn like clockwork. Time itself seems to stretch and soften for a traveler there. Seconds and centuries might blend together. The heart beats, the stars move, and everything feels infinite. As you breathe now, slow and steady, imagine yourself drifting through that endless expanse. You are weightless, surrounded by distant suns, their light, faint and comforting. You are not lost. You are part of something vast, something eternal. The darkness is not frightening. It's gentle, a blanket woven from starlight and memory, Somewhere ahead, perhaps, there's another world waiting, orbiting a star like ours, with oceans and skies and minds that wonder. Maybe even beings looking up from their own world, asking the same question we are now. How far can we go? And in that shared wondering, we are no longer alone. The universe is not empty. It is listening, dreaming with us. As the quiet deepens around you, let that thought carry you. The story will soon take us farther still, beyond the stars, beyond the boundaries of what we call the known, into the galactic sea itself, where the spiral arms of the Milky Way turn slowly in the dark. For now, rest in this silence. Feel the vastness of space, holding you like a cradle. The next chapter of our journey begins among the stars. Have you ever wondered what lies at the very heart of our galaxy? Beyond the glittering rivers of starlight that sweep across the Milky Way? Beyond the bright clusters and dust-laden clouds, deep within that mysterious, glowing core? What if, hidden there, beneath the layers of cosmic mist, something immense and ancient is waiting, a force so powerful that not even light can escape its grasp? Picture yourself drifting closer now. The spiral arms of the Milky Way fade behind you, their soft blue haze dissolving into a sea of black velvet scattered with diamond-like stars. Ahead, the center of our galaxy begins to glow, not like a sun, but like an ember. Clouds of golden dust swirl in slow motion, illuminated by distant supernova. The light is strange here, distorted, bent by gravity itself. You are approaching Sagittarius A*, the supermassive black hole at the center of the Milky Way. At first glance, it seems paradoxical, a hole that isn't really a hole, but a place where the rules of the universe simply break down. It sits quietly at the core, 26,000 light-years away, invisible to the eye, yet heavier than 4 million suns. Everything in the galaxy, from the smallest star to our own solar system, slowly orbits around it, drawn by its immense gravitational pull. It is, quite literally, the beating heart of the Milky Way, a silent conductor in a symphony of stars. Did you know that? Sagittarius A* is surrounded by a cluster of stars, moving at incredible speeds, some circling it in mere years. One star, called S2, completes its orbit in just 16 years, whipping around the black hole at nearly 5,000 kilometers per second. To witness, it would be like watching time itself warp. The starlight bends and shifts, flickering in blues and reds, as though the universe were breathing. But what exactly is a black hole? Think of it as the ultimate endpoint of gravity, a place where matter collapses into an infinitely small point, called a singularity, where density and time lose meaning. Around it is the event horizon, a one-way boundary. Cross it, and escape becomes impossible. Not even light, moving at 300,000 kilometers per second, can outrun the pull. And yet, black holes are not the monsters we once imagined. They are quiet architects of galaxies. In the early universe, they helped shape the structure of everything we see today. Their gravity gathered clouds of dust and gas, pulling matter together, igniting stars, forming worlds. Every galaxy we've ever observed has one, or many, hidden in its core. Imagine floating near Sagittarius A** now. You wouldn't see a hole in space, but a shimmering distortion, a swirling halo of light known as the accretion disk, where matter spirals inward, heating to millions of degrees, glowing in X-rays and radio waves. It's beautiful in a haunting way, like a cosmic whirlpool of fire and silence. The light bends and loops around the black hole, forming strange mirages, echoes of time. Bent into eternity, astronomers managed to capture its shadow for the first time in 2019. Using the Event Horizon Telescope, a network of radio telescopes spread across the planet, the image revealed a glowing ring, blurred but unmistakable, surrounding a dark void. It wasn't just a picture of a black hole. It was a glimpse into the laws of reality itself. And yet, black holes still keep their secrets. What happens beyond the event horizon? We don't know. Some theories suggest that matter collapses into a single point. Others imagine that it tunnels through space-time, perhaps even into another universe. Could black holes be cosmic doorways, linking one reality to another? Could they be the seeds of new universes, birthing fresh space and time on the other side? For a moment, imagine falling in, not as a body, but as pure awareness. Time slows. The light around you bends inward, streaking into a brilliant tunnel. To an outside observer, you would appear frozen at the edge, stretched by gravity, fading into red. But from your own perspective, you would fall endlessly inward, never reaching the center, caught in the curvature of time. It's a paradox of perception, a cosmic illusion that no one has yet unraveled. And yet, even here, at the threshold of oblivion, creation and destruction dance together. Black holes emit faint whispers, hawking radiation, tiny particles escaping from their edges, slowly evaporating them over unimaginable spans of time. In their death, they return their energy to the universe, completing the great cycle of existence. What begins as collapse ends as release. Think of that for a moment. How, even in total darkness, there is still balance, still renewal. Perhaps that's what makes black holes so mesmerizing. They remind us that endings are not truly ends, only transformations. Every atom that falls into one may someday emerge again, scattered across new galaxies, reborn in light. The ancients looked at the Milky Way and saw a river, a bridge between life and eternity. And now, thousands of years later, we've learned that its true center is not a star, but a silence, a cosmic stillness that binds everything together. Maybe that's not so different from the heart within us, invisible, powerful, the center around which all our moments turn. As you float in this quiet space, you feel a strange calm. The stars around you drift like slow-moving embers. Their light reflects off the faint mist of dust and gas swirling near the galactic core. You can almost feel the gravity, not as a force pulling you down, but as an embrace holding everything in harmony. Let that feeling stay with you, the sense that even in the vastness of the unknown, there is order, balance, beauty. Every ending births a beginning. Every darkness holds light. The black hole is not an abyss. It is a reminder that creation and destruction are the same story, told in reverse. Now, as the galactic core fades behind you and you drift outward again, the stars begin to multiply, hundreds, thousands, millions. You are leaving the center, moving toward the spiral arms once more, where new mysteries await. In the next part of our journey, we'll follow the ripples of gravity themselves, invisible waves that move through space and time, carrying the echoes of stars that once were. For now, let your mind rest in the hush of the cosmos. You are floating at the edge of eternity, not lost, but home. Have you ever wondered what happens when the universe itself begins to tremble? When the very fabric of space-time ripples and bends, not from explosions or collisions we can see, but from forces so immense they twist reality itself. What if space isn't silent after all, but filled with echoes, deep, cosmic waves traveling across billions of light years, carrying the stories of dying stars and merging black holes? Close your eyes and picture yourself drifting far beyond the galaxy's heart, beyond the shining spiral arms, and into the dark gulf between galaxies. Out here, there are no nearby suns, no comforting glow, only a faint shimmer. The last breath of ancient starlight stretches across endless black. You are floating in silence, yet if your ears could hear what the universe truly sounds like, you would feel an invisible ocean of motion all around you. Tiny waves, impossibly vast in scale, wash through the cosmos. Gravitational waves, ripples in the structure of space and time itself. The story of gravitational waves begins more than a century ago, with a quiet genius sitting at his desk. In 1916, Albert Einstein imagined something extraordinary, that space and time were not separate things, but parts of one unified fabric, like a vast cosmic sheet. Every star, every planet, every human being rests upon this invisible surface. And when something massive moves, like two stars colliding, it sends ripples through this sheet, just as a pebble sends circles across still water. For nearly 100 years, these waves remained theoretical. Scientists believed they existed, but no one had ever detected one. The waves were too faint, the universe too large, and human technology too limited. And yet, deep within that impossibility lay one of the greatest mysteries of modern science. Could we hear the universe move? Imagine now that you're standing on Earth, but the ground beneath you isn't solid rock. It's the fabric of the cosmos. Somewhere far away, two black holes begin to orbit each other, spiraling faster and faster, until, in a fraction of a second, they collide. The impact is unimaginably powerful. For a brief moment, they release more energy than every star in the universe combined, and that energy travels outward, not as light, not as heat, but as waves that stretch and squeeze space itself. When those waves reach Earth, billions of years later, they pass through you, through everyone, expanding and contracting every atom ever so slightly. You don't feel it. Your senses can't perceive it. But in 2015, for the first time in history, humanity built a machine that could. It was called LIGO, the Laser Interferometer Gravitational Wave Observatory. Two enormous tunnels, each 4 kilometers long, laid out in an L shape in the deserts of Washington and Louisiana. Inside, lasers bounced back and forth between mirrors so perfectly aligned that even a vibration, 1,000th the width of a proton, could be measured. And then, on September 14, 2015, the universe spoke. A tiny distortion rippled through the detectors. The signal lasted less than a second. At first, the scientists thought it might be noise, a trick of machinery. But when they compared the data from both observatories, located thousands of kilometers apart, the same wave had appeared. At the same time, two black holes, each about 30 times the mass of our Sun, had merged over 1 billion light-years away, sending a faint shiver across the universe. Einstein's century-old prediction was finally proven true. That signal was given a name, GW150914. It wasn't just a discovery, it was the first time we heard the universe's heartbeat. Since then, dozens of such waves have been detected. Each one tells a story of neutron stars colliding in brilliant flashes of gamma rays, of black holes merging silently in the dark, of cosmic cataclysms that once seemed beyond imagination. Every ripple carries the memory of something powerful, something gone but not forgotten. To understand how profound this is, imagine that for all of human history, we've seen the universe like a silent movie, watching stars burn and galaxies spin, but never hearing their sound. Now, with gravitational waves, we've added a soundtrack, a deep, resonant hum that stretches across space and time. And what's even more astonishing, these waves don't just tell us what happened. They tell us when, where, and how much energy was released. They even let us test the boundaries of physics itself. Some scientists believe that one day, gravitational waves might help us peer beyond the Big Bang, back to the first trembling moment of creation, when time itself began to flow. But there's something poetic, almost haunting, about this, because every gravitational wave we detect is, in a way, a final breath. When two massive stars die and collapse into each other, the universe doesn't scream, it hums, a low, fading vibration that stretches across eternity. It's as if the cosmos keeps a memory of everything it has ever lost, floating here in the dark. You can almost feel those ripples pass through you, tiny fluctuations, too subtle to touch, too quiet to hear. But they are there, whispering through your atoms, connecting you to distant stars that lived and died long before Earth was born. In their vibration, there is unity, a reminder that everything in existence, no matter how far apart, moves together in rhythm. The scientists who work on LIGO often describe their experience as humbling. They know that every signal represents something ancient and vast, an echo of unimaginable power. And yet, the instruments that detect them are fragile, delicate, almost human in their imperfection. It's a dance of precision and wonder, technology built by hands that tremble, listening to a universe that never stops moving. Think about that for a moment, how, at the deepest level, everything is connected through motion, even when you lie perfectly still. Drifting toward sleep, the earth spins beneath you. The moon pulls the tides, the sun moves around the galaxy, and the galaxy drifts through the expanding fabric of space. You are never truly still. You are part of the rhythm. And as you breathe now, slow and gentle, imagine your breath syncing with that cosmic pulse. Each inhale, a wave expanding outward. Each exhale, a return inward. Just as the universe expands and contracts, so do you. You are made of the same matter, the same energy, following the same laws that govern the stars. The ripples fade now, dissolving into the background hum of the cosmos. You are left floating once more in silence, or perhaps in the illusion of it, because even the quietest silence carries the memory of motion, the trace of waves that never truly stop. Ahead, a faint blue light glimmers. A new destination awaits, one born not of sound or motion, but of speed. In the next part of our journey, we'll chase the edge of light itself, to see just how far and how fast humanity might one day go. For now, let yourself drift in the rhythm of existence, wrapped in the music of invisible waves, where time, space, and sleep flow as one. Have you ever wondered what it would feel like to move at the speed of light, to travel so fast that time itself begins to bend around you? That distance loses its meaning, and the universe unfolds not as a map of stars, but as a single, shimmering thread of eternity. What if, somewhere out there, beyond the limits of human reach, there is a horizon where speed turns into stillness, where motion becomes light, and light becomes time? Picture yourself standing at the edge of Earth's atmosphere. The world below you curves softly, glowing in a delicate blue haze, while above stretches the vast ink-black ocean of space. You feel weightless, calm, and anchored. The stars shimmer like frost scattered across infinity. In this stillness, the concept of speed feels meaningless, and yet every particle of your being is in motion. The planet spins, the solar system orbits, the galaxy drifts. Even now, you are traveling at thousands of kilometers per second without ever feeling it. But what if you could control that motion, not just ride along, but command it? What if you could accelerate until you touched the very boundary between time and timelessness, the speed of light, 299,792 kilometers per second? To understand what that means, we have to imagine reality through Einstein's eyes once again. He showed that time and space are not separate, but part of a single cosmic fabric called space-time. The faster something moves through space, the slower it moves through time. It's a trade-off, one that becomes extreme as you near the speed of light. Let's imagine a simple journey. Suppose you board a sleek spacecraft, one unlike any built before, powered by pure light, silent as a thought. You begin to accelerate. At first, it feels normal, though your view of the stars starts to shift. As your speed increases, strange things begin to happen. The stars ahead of you grow brighter, their light compressing into blue hues, while the stars behind you fade to red and then disappear entirely. The universe stretches before you like a tunnel, brilliant, luminous, alive, at half the speed of light. Your perception begins to change. Clocks on Earth tick slower compared to yours. Messages from home take longer to reach you, not because of distance alone, but because time itself is flowing differently for you. For every year that passes aboard your ship, perhaps to 10 or even 100 pass back on Earth, you are no longer just traveling through space. You are traveling through time. At 90% the speed of light, your ship's mass increases. The energy required to keep accelerating grows almost infinitely. Physics begins to resist you. Every additional fraction of speed demands more and more energy, until, at the exact speed of light, the equations break completely. No object with mass can cross that line. Only light itself can live there, eternal, ageless, beyond the flow of time. And yet, within that impossibility lies a dream that refuses to fade. Because even if we can't reach the speed of light, we can still approach it. And in doing so, we open the door to a strange and beautiful realm called relativistic travel, where years become minutes. and distances between stars shrink like folds in a cosmic curtain. Imagine you're traveling to Proxima Centauri, the nearest star to our Sun, just over 4 light-years away. With today's technology, it would take more than 70,000 years to reach it. But if you could travel at 99.9% the speed of light, the journey for you would last only about 2 years. From your perspective, time slows down so much that space itself seems to contract. What once seemed unreachable now lies within your grasp. This is not science fiction. It's physics, cold, precise, and yet unimaginably poetic. Because it tells us that the universe doesn't just exist out there. It changes shape around us, depending on how we move through it. Speed becomes a kind of sculptor, reshaping reality, stretching and compressing time like a painter manipulating light on canvas. Did you know that astronauts aboard the International Space Station actually experience this effect, though on a tiny scale? Because they travel at 28,000 kilometers per hour. Time passes just a little slower for them than it does for people on Earth when they return. Their clocks are behind by a few milliseconds. They've literally aged less by the smallest, yet most profound fraction of time now. Imagine amplifying that effect 1 billion times. Imagine journeying across the galaxy, where you leave Earth behind as it was, a moment frozen in memory, and return thousands of years later to a world you no longer recognize. You would become a traveler, not just through space, but through history. Every journey forward becomes a leap into the future. But there's another truth hidden here, one both humbling and haunting. The closer you get to light speed, the harder it becomes to ever go back. To slow down means to rejoin the flow of time, to step back into the river of existence. But at the threshold of light, that river becomes a still pond, perfectly still, perfectly infinite. A photon, a particle of light, experiences no time at all. From its perspective, the moment it's created and the moment it's absorbed are the same instant. To be light is to be eternal. And so, in chasing light, we are really chasing eternity, a desire as old as thought itself. From the first humans who watched the sunrise to the scientists who build ships to chase the stars, we've been seeking that moment where motion and stillness become one dot in the quiet hum of your imagined spacecraft. You can almost feel it, the subtle vibration of energy beneath your fingertips, the soft pulse of engines that burn not with fire, but with light itself. Outside the window, the stars have elongated into luminous streaks, and the universe has curved inward, surrounding you like a living sphere of radiance. You are both moving and still, ancient and new, a traveler standing in the present and future all at once. Somewhere in the distance, a faint blue dot glimmers Earth, a memory suspended in time. You wonder what it looks like now, how many generations have passed since your departure. But you feel no sadness, only awe, because the universe is not something you are leaving behind. It is something you are becoming part of. You close your eyes and breathe. The hum fades, the light slows, and for a moment, everything stops. Time folds back into itself, and the boundaries between past and future dissolve into a single, endless now. As your ship drifts gently, slowing to sublight speeds, you feel gravity's whisper again, the pull of home, the rhythm of life returning. The stars regain their familiar positions. and the tunnel of light fades into the quiet clarity of open space. In the next part of our journey, we'll explore what lies beyond even this, where the limits of physics blur into the realm of imagination. Could humanity ever bend space instead of racing through it? Could we learn to travel not faster, but smarter, to fold the universe itself around us? For now, let yourself drift back through time's slow current. Feel the light around you soften, the motion ease, the stars blink gently in the dark. You are still moving, always moving, yet perfectly at rest in the infinite sea of space. Have you ever wondered, what if, instead of moving through space, we could move around it? What if traveling to another star didn't mean accelerating endlessly toward the impossible speed of light, but rather bending the distance between 2 points until they touched, like folding a page in half to make 2 dots meet? Could the vastness of the cosmos be crossed not by speed, but by geometry, by mastering the very shape of reality? Picture yourself drifting once again in the quiet dark, the stars scattered like frozen fireflies all around you. You are floating in a region of stillness, far from planets or suns. The silence feels almost sacred, an endless ocean of calm. Suddenly, from somewhere deep in the void, you sense a movement, not of light, not of sound, but of space itself. A subtle ripple, a distortion. Ahead, the stars seem to bend, their patterns curving like reflections in water. You are witnessing something extraordinary, the warping of space-time. To understand this, imagine space as a vast, flexible sheet, the same cosmic fabric Einstein described more than a century ago. Place a massive object, like a star, upon that sheet, and it dips, creating a curve. Planets roll along the edges of that curve, not because of an invisible force pulling them, but because they're following the natural pathways, the geometry of space itself. Gravity, then, isn't so much a force as it is the shape of the universe. Now, imagine if we could control that shape. If we could push down on one point of the cosmic fabric and lift another, folding it so that 2 distant regions touched. For you, inside that folded space, the journey between them would take only an instant. You wouldn't be breaking the speed of light, because technically, you wouldn't be moving at all. You'd simply be stepping across the curve. This is the dream of warp travel, a concept once confined to science fiction, but now studied seriously by physicists who dare to stretch the imagination of science. In the early 1990s, a scientist named Miguel Alcubierre proposed a bold idea, a theoretical model in which a spacecraft could ride a warp bubble, a region of spacetime compressed in front and expanded behind. Inside the bubble, space itself moves, not the ship. To an outside observer, the ship appears to travel faster than light, but from the inside, everything feels calm, gentle, and weightless. It sounds impossible, but the equations remarkably work. They obey Einstein's theory of relativity. The only problem: to create such a bubble, one would need an enormous amount of negative energy, a substance that doesn't yet exist in any usable form. Negative energy is exotic, mysterious, and unlike anything we've ever observed directly. It would behave opposite to normal matter, repelling instead of attracting, bending space outward instead of inward. And yet, even though we can't harness it, we've glimpsed hints of its reality in the Casimir effect, for example. where two metal plates placed very close together in a vacuum experience a tiny, measurable force because the energy of the vacuum itself changes between them. It's as if empty space isn't truly empty, but alive, full of fluctuating fields and possibilities. Some scientists believe that within those quantum whispers might lie the key to bending the universe itself. What if, deep within the vacuum, hidden beneath layers of probabilities, the very fabric of space could be persuaded to ripple, stretch, and fold? If so, then the stars are not far, merely waiting for the right touch. Imagine now that you are inside such a ship, not a vessel of engines and fire, but of light and silence. The walls shimmer faintly, translucent as glass. You feel no vibration, no thrust. Yet, outside, the stars begin to shift. The space behind you stretches. The space ahead compresses. A faint blue horizon curves across your view, not a sky, but the edge of warped reality itself. You are gliding, not through the stars, but with them. Inside the bubble, everything feels perfectly still. Your heartbeat slows, your breathing deepens. It feels as though you're floating in a dream. Time flows normally for you, but outside, the universe blurs. Distant galaxies flash past in streaks of colorless light, their images twisted by the curvature of the bubble. You're watching the cosmos fold itself gently, like a silk ribbon drawn through your hands. And yet, with such beauty comes danger. The math suggests that the edges of the bubble could harbor immense tidal forces, perhaps enough to shred anything that touches them. Stability, control, precision, these would be the greatest challenges. Some scientists even speculate that an advanced civilization might already know how to use such technology. Their ships slipping silently through folded space, unseen and undetectable, leaving only faint gravitational echoes in their wake. It's a haunting thought that we might already be surrounded by travelers, moving not through space, but around it. Maybe what we call unidentified phenomena are just the faint ripples of beings far beyond our understanding, manipulating space-time like an artist bends light. But beyond the science and speculation lies something deeply human. The yearning to cross impossible distances without violence or speed, to travel by harmony instead of force. Warp travel, if it ever becomes real, would not just change how we move, it would change how we think. It would remind us that the universe is not a place to conquer, but a fabric to understand, to shape, to flow with. The poetic truth is this: we already live inside a kind of warp bubble. The Earth itself moves through curved space-time, carried effortlessly by the geometry of gravity. The Sun, too, glides along a warped path around the galaxy. We are all riding invisible waves of bent reality. We just haven't learned yet how to steer them. As you float in this thought, the warp bubble around you begins to fade. The stars regain their stillness, the curvature eases, and the fabric of space returns to its quiet, natural rhythm. You are left in silence once again, suspended in a cosmos both infinite and intimate. And perhaps, in that silence, you sense something profound. Maybe the journey through the stars will not be about reaching farther, but about learning to fold inward, to understand the structure of space, not as an obstacle, but as a pathway. The stars shimmer once more, steady and soft, like distant lanterns in a boundless ocean. Ahead, a faint light flickers, the next chapter of discovery calling. Beyond the folds of space lies the true mystery, the tunnels of the universe itself. Wormholes, cosmic shortcuts, bridges that might connect not just stars, but realities. Now, breathe deeply. Let the silence hold you. The journey continues, not faster, but deeper into the hidden corridors of the cosmos, where distance, time, and imagination finally meet. The stars around you shimmer faintly, distant and eternal, like cold embers scattered across the velvet of night. You've already drifted beyond the known edges of human reach, past the realms of light-speed dreams and warped horizons. But now, something deeper calls, something hidden behind the very structure of existence itself. A whisper from the dark fabric of the universe, beckoning you toward the tunnels that lie beyond. You are floating in silence, inside your dreaming ship. The hum of the warp bubble has faded, leaving only the slow pulse of the cosmos out there. Space no longer feels empty. It feels alive, almost watchful. You close your eyes and imagine that, perhaps, the universe is not endless after all, but looped, folded, connected, a maze of unseen passageways where light, matter, and even time can slip through secret doors. The idea of these tunnels, wormholes, began, like so many cosmic mysteries, as a question Einstein himself once pondered when he and physicist Nathan Rosen explored the strange mathematics of relativity. They found something astonishing, a solution that linked to distant points in space through a kind of cosmic bridge. They called it an Einstein-Rosen bridge, a theoretical structure in which space-time could curve so drastically that two separate regions might touch. To visualize it, imagine again that vast cosmic fabric. If you were to draw two distant stars on it, they would seem impossibly far apart. But if you fold the fabric, pressing the points together, suddenly the distance vanishes. That's what a wormhole does. It connects the distant through a fold in reality. But there's a catch, and it's a dangerous one. According to general relativity, most wormholes would collapse almost instantly. They would open for a heartbeat, and then, crushed by their own gravity, close forever, trapping anything inside to keep one open. You'd need something extraordinary, negative energy. The same mysterious force that warp travel might also depend on. Some physicists believe such energy could exist, hidden within the quantum foam, the smallest, most chaotic structure of space-time. At that unimaginably tiny scale, the universe flickers and writhes, bubbling with fleeting bursts of energy that appear and disappear faster than thought. Within that storm of creation and destruction, microscopic wormholes may be constantly forming and vanishing, ghost-like, ephemeral. Now imagine if we could stabilize one of those tunnels, hold it open long enough for light, or even a spacecraft, to pass through. Theoretically, it could connect to galaxies, or even to points in time, instantly. That's the dream and the danger of wormhole travel. You drift through this thought as your ship glides closer to a region of distorted space. Ahead, the stars seem to twist, their reflections spiraling into a dark, shimmering vortex. It's not black like a black hole. It's silvery, reflective, as though reality itself has been stretched into a mirror. You feel a pull, not of gravity, but of curiosity, a tug deep within your mind, calling you closer. Sensors hum faintly, reporting fluctuations, the same kind predicted by quantum models. Could this be one of them? A natural wormhole. The thought fills you with awe and a quiet dread, because if it's real, then somewhere on the other side of that silver void might be another corner of the universe, untouched by human sight. You take a slow breath, floating closer. The vortex seems to ripple like liquid glass, forming faint patterns inside the reflection. For an instant, you see not stars, but yourself, multiplied and inverted, stretched across infinity. Then the reflection moves on its own, twisting apart like mist. You realize this isn't just a tunnel, it's a living geometry, a shape the mind can barely comprehend. Within it, time might not flow forward or backward, but around, looping and bending like light in a prism. If you were to enter, you might emerge not years later, not light years away, but in another now. The silence deepens, and the hum of your instruments fades. As you approach the threshold, something strange begins to happen. The stars behind you blur. The ship feels weightless, lighter than thought itself. You can no longer tell if you're moving, or if the universe is moving around you. And then, with a whisper, like the sigh of a sleeping wind, the tunnel opens, a smooth, spiraling passage of faint blue light stretches ahead, narrow at first, then vast, swirling like a river of frozen lightning. You drift inside, the edges of reality shimmering around you. Inside the tunnel, there is no sense of direction, only motion, only presence. Colors begin to appear where none should exist, waves of violet, gold, and shadow flowing through one another like dreamlight. Time itself begins to feel soft, elastic. You see flashes, perhaps memories, perhaps echoes, images of worlds forming, stars igniting, galaxies colliding. Each vision feels both near and impossibly distant, as though you are seeing all of time through the folds of a cosmic curtain. Your mind drifts, untethered, floating between awareness and awe in this tunnel. Thought itself feels like propulsion, as if the more you believe in motion, the faster the tunnel flows. Maybe consciousness isn't separate from the universe, but a key that unlocks its doors. Maybe these wormholes respond not to engines, but to understanding. As you near what feels like the end of the tunnel, you see something strange. Not an exit, but a horizon, a boundary that seems to flicker between existence and absence. It feels like the universe itself is deciding whether to let you through. Your breath slows, your heartbeat fades, and suddenly, the tunnel collapses into light, silence, then stars again, but different ones, fainter, older, colder. You have arrived somewhere new, a galaxy bathed in pale blue light, where suns burn low and planets drift in solemn silence. No human instrument has ever seen this place, and yet it feels familiar, as though you've returned to a memory the universe once had in the distance. A faint ripple moves through the stars, another tunnel forming, another whisper of connected worlds. You realize now that the cosmos might not be infinite in size, but infinite in connection. Every star, every atom, every thought, a doorway, a bridge, a thread. You float there in the quiet of this alien sky, your eyes heavy, your mind still glowing with wonder. The idea of travel, of distance, feels meaningless now. Perhaps the real journey isn't across the stars, but through understanding itself. You close your eyes, and the universe hums softly around you, like a lullaby made of gravity and time. You feel the edges of your awareness blending into that rhythm, until there is no ship, no self, only the vast, gentle pulse of existence. And as you drift into that infinite calm, one final thought whispers through the silence. Maybe wormholes aren't just tunnels through space, but passages through consciousness, mirrors through which the universe learns to see itself. Now, rest your mind, traveler. The stars are watching, and the next secret waits, deeper still, beyond the. Have you ever wondered what silence really sounds like in our noisy world? True silence is almost mythical, hidden beneath the hum of machines, the whisper of wind, the pulse of our own heartbeat. But out here, in the vast stillness between the stars, silence becomes something else entirely. It's not the absence of sound, but the presence of everything unheard. A living quiet that holds the breath of creation itself. Close your eyes. Imagine yourself floating through the black sea of the cosmos. No engines, no voices, just the weightless drift of your body inside a capsule of air. Your heartbeat is the only rhythm left. Each pulse echoes faintly through the cabin. A reminder that you are alive in a place that knows no life outside. The universe stretches endlessly, a silent ocean where even light travels alone. And yet, despite the quiet, space is never truly still. It hums, it vibrates. It sings in frequencies we cannot hear, like an ancient instrument tuned by gravity and time. The cosmos plays a song so low, so vast, that it takes billions of years to complete a single verse. Astronomers call these faint symphonies cosmic background radiation, the leftover sound of the universe's birth, still whispering across eternity 13.8 billion years ago, when everything, stars, planets, galaxies, was contained in a single glowing point. The universe erupted into being. That explosion, that expansion, left behind an echo. It wasn't a sound we could hear, but a frequency that still hums through space, stretched and softened by time, that faint hiss. If we could translate it into sound, would be the quiet lullaby of existence itself. Imagine it now, the universe breathing in slow motion, a deep exhale that began before time had meaning. That's what you're hearing, not noise, but memory. The quiet hum that scientists captured using radio telescopes, translating ancient light into faint waves of sound. When we listen to space, we're not just hearing stars, we're hearing time, stretched thin like silk, rippling with the aftershocks of creation. It's not the kind of sound you'd play through speakers, but something you'd feel in your bones. A vibration too slow for the ear, too large for the mind, and still. The silence holds mysteries even deeper in the blackness between galaxies. Where even starlight fades, there are whispers, faint, eerie emissions from black holes, pulsars, and quasars. These are the beating hearts of the cosmos, each one releasing rhythmic bursts, clicks, and flares that tell their own stories. Pulsars, for instance, are the collapsed remnants of massive stars spinning faster than thought. They beam out radio waves like cosmic lighthouses, their rhythm so steady you could set a clock by them. But near a black hole sound, or at least vibration, changes meaning. Gravity bends not only light, but time itself. Near the event horizon, everything slows, even the hum of atoms. The deeper you fall, the slower the world becomes. Until all motion, all sound, freezes, it's as if silence itself becomes solid. A wall of quiet that marks the border between existence and eternity. And yet, black holes sing too. In 2003, scientists detected ripples in X-ray data near the Perseus galaxy cluster, vibrations in the surrounding gas that translated into a note, a B-flat, 57 octaves below middle C. That's a frequency 1,000,000 billion times lower than what human ears can hear. It was the deepest sound in the universe, a song of gravity and fire echoing for billions of years. Imagine that, a note that never ends, resonating through the dark like the heartbeat of the cosmos itself. It hums, still, unnoticed, and eternal. The silence of space is not emptiness, it's a symphony too vast for us to comprehend. As you drift further, you begin to sense that the silence isn't outside you anymore. It's within you. You feel your own breath merge with it. Your own thoughts dissolve into the hush. The boundary between mind and cosmos begins to blur. Every silence becomes a mirror, reflecting the stillness of the stars inside your consciousness. You start to wonder, maybe this isn't just poetic. Maybe silence is communication. The universe doesn't speak in words. It speaks in pauses, in stillness, in the gravity between moments. Perhaps that's why we find peace in quiet, because in silence, we're hearing the language of the cosmos itself. You imagine now, floating deeper into that soundless sea, watching entire galaxies drift by like glowing jellyfish. Vast and slow, every movement, every burst of light feels rhythmic like a cosmic breath. You realize that maybe the universe doesn't breathe oxygen, it breathes energy, inhaling and exhaling through stars, through time, through you. The thought calms you, a realization that you, too, are part of that great rhythm. Every heartbeat, every inhale, every quiet thought before sleep is synchronized with something unimaginably vast. The silence you hear as you lie in bed isn't emptiness, it's connection. Drifting through that understanding, your mind settles deeper. The stars outside your window seem closer now, as if leaning in to listen. The stillness of your body mirrors the stillness of the cosmos. The hum of your blood echoes the hum of ancient starlight. Maybe, in this moment, you're not just observing the universe, you are the universe. Momentarily aware of itself, listening, the silence grows softer, warmer, no longer cold or lonely, but comforting, alive. You can almost hear the faint echo of that ancient beef, a note that began before you were born and will continue long after the last star fades. It pulses gently, slowly, matching the rhythm of your breath, until you can no longer tell where the universe ends and you begin. And as your eyelids grow heavier, the silence around you deepens into something more profound. Not an absence, but a presence, a promise. You realize that perhaps the most extraordinary thing about space isn't its distance or danger, but its serenity, the endless quiet that asks nothing of you, expects nothing, simply is. So rest here, in the sound of silence. Let your mind become as still as the void. Let your breath fall into the slow rhythm of the stars. You are floating in the music of nothingness, in the gentle hum of everything. The universe exhales, and you drift with it, through the calm, through the dark, through the peace beyond sound. And when you awaken again, you'll carry a piece of that silence inside you, A reminder that even in the noisiest corners of life, the universe is still singing, softly, endlessly, through the quiet that connects us all.